Hey everybody, this is David Chudyk, and here we are. It's the middle of December 2025, and Christmas season is upon us. So today I want to talk about some Christmas gifts, some financial Christmas gifts that you can give yourself and your family that your future self would really thank you for in 2026. So I hope that you enjoy this episode, and here we go. Welcome to the Weekly Wealth Podcast. I am certified financial planner David Chudyk. This podcast and my wealth management practice are both designed to help the mass affluent to live better lives by how they handle their money. We talk about financial strategies, prosperous mindsets, and simply how to build true wealth. So come on and let's enjoy this journey together. Well, hey everybody, I am so excited about this episode, but before we get started, I have to talk about our social media and our content. So click on the links in the show notes, but make sure that you're checking out the Weekly Wealth Podcast on Instagram, follow our Weekly Wealth Podcast page on Facebook, and also check out Weekly Wealth Podcast on YouTube. We post our episodes, we post clips and shorts, and I would just be so grateful if you would share some of that content and also enjoy some of that content. This episode is about gifts, and this podcast and our social media content is my gift to you and my gift to the world, because as I always say, I believe that how we handle our money should positively impact our lives and the lives of those around us. So Christmas is here. Christmas season is a season of gift giving. We spend time choosing presents for the people we care about, but most of us forget that there's one more person who deserves a gift, and that is your future self. Now, you might remember I did an interview back when the Weekly Wealth Podcast was really new with Dr. Benjamin Hardy. He's an author and an organizational psychologist, and he has a concept called your future self. And this is you in the future. And a lot of times, if we think in terms of our future self, it gives us motivations to do some hard things. So your future self, my future self, is already leaving hints about what they want you to do next year. Your future self wants your life to be easier. Your future self wants less stress. Your future self wants different stress than you've been having. And your future self wants better decisions. And your future self definitely wants more peace and more freedom. So today I am sharing 10 Christmas gifts that your future self wants you to open in 2025. Now, these are practical, they're meaningful, and they're powerful no matter your age, your income, or your background. So let's get started with 10 Christmas gifts for your future self. So the first one is the gift of financial clarity. And financial clarity is one of the best gifts you can give yourself. I see people all the time not knowing their numbers, not knowing what they want, both from a qualitative and quantitative standpoint. So your future self wants you to know your monthly spending, your savings rate, maybe your actual net worth, not what you think it is, your marginal tax brackets, maybe your debt balances. Maybe your future self wants clarity on your insurance coverages, where you have risks that need to be transferred and where you have risks that you are retaining. And maybe your future self wants clarity on your investment contributions. So you don't need perfect bookkeeping, but you need awareness. When you know your numbers, you feel like you are in control instead of in chaos. So I believe that your future self in 2026 and beyond would be very thankful for the gift of financial clarity. Ho, ho, ho. Now, number 2 is the gift of a fully funded emergency fund. Now, yes, I know this is boring. Like, who wants to save up cash? A lot of people either just want to spend the cash or they want to invest it in sexy investments. They want to find the next big crypto. They want to find the stock that's going to quadruple. So this is a gift that feels boring, but it's only boring until you need it. So your future self wants to have enough cash so that the little things, a flat tire doesn't become a crisis. Maybe one surprise bill doesn't destroy your month. Maybe if you're a little on the higher net worth side and the higher income, maybe you have a highly paying job and you get laid off, and it's going to take you a while to find a job that will be equally as high paying. Maybe a family emergency might not create financial panic. You might be a business owner and you have a high deductible. You purposefully have a high deductible for your health insurance, but now you actually have an injury or you have a family illness, and now you have to come up with $5 or $10 or $20,000 for your deductible. Well, that can be funded with your emergency fund. So money in the bank is more than math. It really is emotional security. And the other thing that an emergency fund can be thought of is it can be thought of as an opportunity fund. There are times in life where opportunity presents itself. And when opportunity presents itself, we need to be able to take advantage of it. And when you have cash or you have access to cash, you certainly are able to potentially take advantage of opportunities. So number 2 is a fully funded emergency fund. So if you don't have 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses in the bank, maybe work towards having 1 month, maybe work towards having just being one paycheck away from financial difficulties. But let's get some money put aside for some emergencies. Ho, ho, ho. Now, number 3 is going to be the gift of spending intentionally, not emotionally. And this is a big one, especially during the holidays. You see, your future self and my future self wants us to enjoy our money, but it wants us to do it with intention. What wealthy and financially stable people have in common is not frugality, it's purpose. So when you are spending what might seem as an excess or extravagant amount of money, make sure that it's on purpose and not just on a whim. So financially stable people, they spend money on experience, on memories. They definitely invest in their health. They invest in their relationships. Sometimes they invest in convenience. Maybe they'll have somebody cut their grass for them, or instead of changing their own oil, they will pay someone to change their oil, and that gives them time to relax or spend more time earning revenue. So make sure to avoid the spending that feels good for 10 minutes, but then feels awful in January. So the number 3 gift that you can give your future self this year is the gift of spending intentionally. Ho, ho, ho. All right, so protection. Number 4 is the gift of protecting the people you love. And this includes a lot of different things, but it could include the proper insurance. Now, remember, insurance really does one thing. It protects your money, nothing more, nothing less. So if you cause me to have a loss, either your insurance can make me whole or you can make me whole. And if you're making me whole, that means that some of your net worth is going to be flowing into my world, which you probably don't want. But protecting the people you love also includes having the right documents, the right estate planning documents, your wills, your power of attorneys. It includes having the proper beneficiaries or maybe updating your beneficiaries. We are all one heartbeat away from our beneficiary selections being final. And you want to make sure that your beneficiary designations on your IRAs, your life insurance, your annuities, things like that are what you want them to be. And you really just need a simple plan for when life throws a curveball. So a lot of people think it's all about money, but it's not just about money. It's about protecting the people that you love. So your future self wants you to take care of the relationships that matter most. And when life does throw you a curveball, or when the inevitable happens, you want to make it as easy as possible as you can for your family and the people that you love. Ho, ho, ho. Number 5, the gift that your future self wants you to give them is the gift of better health. Now, I'm 52, and when you start hitting the mid 40s and 50s and older, you start seeing some of your peers, some of your friends, some of your family becoming ill. Now, not all illnesses are preventable. I know that. But there are some things that if we do them, they will lessen the chance of major health issues. So your future self wants you to do the smart things, like get better sleep, like get more movement. They say movement is medicine. So make sure that we're moving and not sitting down at desks all day. Your future self, especially I think if you're a male, I've seen a lot of studies that one of the best things that men can do is lift heavy stuff and build as much muscle or have as little muscle decrease as possible. Of course, lowering stress, we can put strategies in place there. We can plan our nutrition. We can plan our diet so we have fewer fast food emergencies. We don't want to be going through the drive-through any more than a minimal amount. And then, of course, yes, we need to know our numbers. We need to get the checkups. So money matters for sure, but health matters as well. Be on the lookout. Our firm is actually going to be doing some really cool things with regard to health, and we'll have some information on that coming up soon. But taking care of your health today is a gift that keeps on giving for decades.
Quick question. When's the last time you stopped to ask, where is my money actually taking me? If you're a business owner or high earner who's too busy to figure out if you're on the right path, we have created something just for you. It's called the 10-Minute Wealth Vision Call, a quick, no-pressure Zoom where we'll talk about your biggest financial question and help you get one step closer to your ideal future. No pitches, no fluff, just clarity, confidence, and direction. Grab your spot now at weeklywealthpodcast.com/vision. That's weeklywealthpodcast.com/vision. Your vision deserves 10 minutes.
So let's try number 6. This is the gift of automatic progress. And if you're like me, and I think it's just human nature, if you rely on motivation, you simply fail. If you rely on automation, you succeed. So your future self wants you to automate. It wants you to automate things like saving, things like investing, things like your debt payments, your retirement contributions, and your charitable giving. When money moves automatically, wealth grows quietly in the background. So imagine if you didn't have a 401k and you had to physically, like in the old days, take out a checkbook and every 2 weeks write a check and mail it to your retirement company. Now, you'd probably do that a week or two or a few months, but then you'd get distracted. You may have one or two smaller paychecks, or you'd have some bigger expenses and you'd say, oh, I'm going to stop for 1 week and then I'll start back up, and then you probably never would. So when we're not on automations, we tend to not have the behaviors. And really it is about the execution. It's about the behaviors, not the intention of the behaviors. So look in your life, look in your financial life, but look in all of the areas of your life. Where can you automate progress? And I would guess that your future self would be very thankful to you in 2026 for that gift in 2025.
Ho, ho, ho.
Number 7, I think your future self would like for you to give it the gift of meaningful goals. So most New Year's resolutions fail because they're vague. People will say, I want to lose weight. I want to get better with my money. I want to have better relationships. But really, I think what your future self wants goals that are clear, that are measurable, that are realistic, and that are emotionally meaningful. So I got to be honest, I have a goal in a few years to buy a beach house. And it's not because I want a beach house. It's because what it would mean to our family. It would be a hub for our children. And when they have grandchildren at a point, it may be a place that I can spend part of the year and I can work from there and entertain clients. So it's not just that I want a building at the beach. It's what the building at the beach would do for me. Some other things that is a goal for me and my family is have our children have no college debt. Think about the meaning that it would bring to our lives to know that we were able to do that, and how much easier it would make our children's lives to not be saddled with student loan debt. So be specific and have emotionally meaningful goals, because when there's a meaning tied to a goal, it makes it easier for us to do the hard things or uncomfortable things that the goal might require to have done in order to achieve it. So let's think about giving yourself the gift of meaningful, not generic goals for Christmas in 2025, and I bet your 2026 and beyond future self will be very thankful for it.
Ho, ho, ho.
Now, let's think about the gift of giving in ways that actually helps others. So generosity is one of the best feelings in the world, and it's also one of the most overlooked sources of happiness. So I think your future self wants you to give intentionally, give joyfully, and give in ways that align with your values. So this could be giving to organizations. What are some of the organizations that do work that you really care about? Because I know there are many thousands and tens of thousands of nonprofit organizations, and they're all doing great work. But some of the causes, while I don't think that they're bad, they just don't break my heart. But the ones that do break my heart, I need to get involved with, and I need to be part of the solution. So that's what I mean by giving in ways that align with your value. Now, this could mean money, but it also could mean time. It could be mentorship. It could mean service. It could mean being present. Sometimes it's just being attentive to someone that needs a smiling face. So generosity improves the giver just as much as the receiver. So I bet that if you give yourself the gift of being able to give in a way that actually helps, your future self would really appreciate it.
Ho, ho, ho.
And this is a hard one, but this is where I've made a lot of progress, is the gift of guidance and not going alone. So at some point, everybody needs help. And a lot of times when there's an issue in your life, whether it be financial or relationally or health-wise or mechanically or anything like that, it's very easy to say, well, how can I fix this thing? But I think a better question is who? You may have read or heard of the book, Who Not How. And it tells us when there's something that needs to be done, we should ask ourselves, who in my life has this answer? Not necessarily try to find that answer ourselves. So your future self wants to have someone in your corner who can help you make confident decisions. Now, in regard with money, that might be a financial advisor like myself, might be a tax professional, an attorney, a mentor, maybe a business coach. But even if it's not with regards to your money, don't do it alone. So find people, find professionals who can help you. It's about direction. It's about having guidance that can prevent years of mistakes. For many people, this will be the year for you to have your vision call with me. So you can go to www.weeklywealthpodcast.com/vision. We can spend 10 minutes, just 10 minutes on a Zoom call, and we can talk about some of the financial issues that are keeping you up at night, or we can just help you bring clarity to some of your biggest questions. www.weeklywealthpodcast.com/vision. Give it a shot, and I'd love to try to point you in the right direction.
Ho, ho, ho.
And the last gift number 10, that I bet your future self would be happy that you gave it in 2025, is the gift of saying no more often. Now, this one is really tough for me because I like to be a people pleaser. I saw a social media meme the other day, and it kind of hit me. It said, if you want to please everybody, serve ice cream. If not, just be a leader. Most people think that being successful is about doing more and working harder. But a surprising gift your future self desperately wants is the ability to say no. So your future self wants you to say no to commitments that drain your energy, to purchases made out of guilt or comparison, to people who disrupt your peace. Do you have any of them in your life? I may have one or two. Your future self wants you to say no to financial decisions driven by fear. Your future self wants you to say no to being the bank for your family members. And your future self wants you to say no to lifestyle creep that's disguised as, quote, I deserve this. Now, there are, as a business owner and as a high achiever, sometimes you have to ask yourself, will this new thing that I'm taking on, will this get me closer to the promised land? And a lot of times the answer is no, right? So every new board you join, every new organization, every time you say yes, you're saying no to something else. So make sure that what you're saying yes to is aligned with your goals, aligned with your values, aligned with your financial security. Here's a tough one. Is it aligned with your emotional health? As a leader, sometimes we put our emotional health on the back burner, but it's important, right? So we have to make sure that we're guarding our emotional health, and sometimes taking on that extra project just puts too much stress. And we want to make sure that saying no will bring you closer to having long-term peace. So wealth and success isn't just built with money, it's built with decisions, especially the decisions that you don't make. So saying no is a gift that protects your time, your wallet, your relationships, and your future. So think about some of the things that you might be able to say no to that would free you up and can be replaced by things where you should have a yes. So as we come through this Christmas season, I want to give you my heartfelt thanks for listening to the Weekly Wealth Podcast. I love putting these episodes out. I love sharing financial information, and I love sharing my philosophies. So if you've gotten any value, I would be greatly indebted if you would share this or any episode with your friends, your families, your colleagues, or your coworkers. And don't forget to email me, david@parallelfinancial.com, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, or if there's anything else that you would like to have on the podcast. All right, everybody, I wish you a Merry Christmas. I wish you happy holidays. I wish you love. I wish you peace. And I wish you success. Have a blessed week. The information contained herein, included but not limited to research, market valuations, calculations, estimates, and other materials obtained from Parallel Financial and other sources, are believed to be reliable. However, Parallel Financial does not warrant its accuracy or completeness. These materials are provided for informational purposes only and should not be used for or construed as an offer to sell or a solicitation of an offer to buy any security. Past performance is not indicative of any future results. And here's our bonus content for this episode. You know I had to give just one more for the business owners, and that is your Value Builder score. So your future self in 2026 would be very thankful if you gave it the gift of knowing the approximate value of your business and also knowing what parts of your business you can improve so that it will become more sellable when you're ready to sell it or be more profitable today. So go to www.weeklywealthpodcast.com/value builder score. That's www.weeklywealthpodcast.com/value builder score. And it takes you 10 to 15 minutes and you can get some great information. All right, everybody, have a Merry Christmas.